tensions in the South China Sea between China and the United States have significantly escalated due to American support for maintaining Taiwan's independence. In response, China has steadily increased its aerial presence in the region, deploying multiple J-16 squadrons, and more notably, ramping up production of its most advanced fighter jet to date, the J-20 Mighty Dragon. The J-20 is a direct competitor to the American F-22 and F-35 stealth aircraft, which are operated by South Korean and Japanese allies. Although the J-20 has been deployed in the Pacific since 2017, there has been no recorded encounter between it and the F-35, until now. In March of 2022, the U.S. Air Force confirmed the first contact between the two aircraft. China followed in August of 2022, although neither side released footage of the encounter. However, in January of 2023, China published a propaganda video that, according to some analysts, finally included footage of the dramatic initial encounter between two of the world's most formidable aircraft. Losing air superiority. The increasing close encounters between American, Japanese, and South Korean aircraft with Chinese fighters in the Pacific are far from coincidental. Political and military tensions between the United States and China have intensified dramatically since Russia's military intervention in Ukraine in February of 2022. China's persistent threats towards Taiwan, a small island nation that the Chinese regime regards as its own, have further strained relations with the United States and its allies. In addition to this precarious situation, North Korea recently launched an intercontinental ballistic missile as part of its ongoing tests and displays of force. China has also accelerated the construction of artificial islands to bolster its unfounded claims of defending its national borders. These threats prompted the South Korean, Japanese, and American air fleets to increase the number of fighter aircraft stationed in the Pacific to counter potential Chinese or North Korean aggression. But the Allied forces are not merely deploying any type of aircraft. They're replacing the aging F-15 Eagle with the more advanced F-22 Raptor fighter jets. The U.S. Pacific Air Forces reported in November 2022 that F-22A Raptors arrived at Kadena Air Base in Japan, straight from Alaska. The Japanese and South Koreans also employ F-16 fighters and the formidable F-35 Lightning II fighters to patrol their airspace. Despite possessing the world's most advanced stealth and air superiority aircraft, the United States anticipates losing air superiority to China by 2035. This projection has spurred China to increase the production of its most powerful aircraft to date, the J-20 Mighty Dragon. Shifting tides. During an Air Force Association meeting in September of 2021, USAF Chief of Staff General Charles Brown Jr. announced that the Chinese People's Liberation Army possessed the largest aviation forces in the Pacific, having expanded significantly under the watchful eyes of the U.S. forces in the region. General Brown even asserted that China would surpass U.S. air superiority by 2035. Lieutenant General S. Clinton Hindle, Deputy Chief of Staff, also expressed concern that the USAF was gradually falling behind the PLA in some crucial aviation-related areas. These opinions from the generals aligned with previous statements made by the Pentagon, which has concluded that the Chinese Navy now boasts the largest naval fleet in the world and will soon threaten the U.S. Navy over control of the Western Pacific. Although the U.S. and its Pacific allies operate some of the most advanced aircraft in the world, including the F-22, F-35, F-15EX, and F-16, the PLA is quickly catching up, with an alarming production rate of J-20 stealth fighters and J-16 multi-role fighters. According to 2021 statistics, China is credited with producing over 150 J-20 stealth fighters. In contrast, the USAF has more than 280 Lockheed Martin F-35As, but the Pentagon has scaled down its budget. Chinese dominion. The Chinese J-20 is a fifth-generation stealth fighter, akin to the Russian Su-27, the American F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II. Analysts believe that China will employ the J-20 for long-range engagements, using a sniping mode where it will knock out enemy aircraft from a distance. During a conference held at the Mitchell Institute for Aerospace Studies, Kenneth Wilsbach, the commander of the Pacific Air Forces, suggested that China's key airborne early warning and control platform, the KJ-500, may be used to help the J-20 target hostile aircraft from afar. The KJ-500 also features a 3-panel active electronically scanned array radar housed in a fixed radome above the fuselage. This platform will enhance the effectiveness of the PL-15 long-range air-to-air missile used by the J-20 and the J-16 multi-role aircraft. The J-16 entered service in 2016 and was designed to be the ultimate companion to the J-20 alongside the J-10C. One of its latest variants, the J-16D, was built for electronic warfare. Introduced in late 2021, it's been spotted several times in Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone. Eric Hegenbotham, a research scientist from MIT's Center for International Studies, stated that China has made the J-16 the ideal aircraft for interception missions. Moreover, it's being produced in large quantities, which concerns the US and its Pacific allies. In an interview with South China Morning Post, Chinese Air Force equipment specialist Fu Chunshao asserted that the military is ready to replace older generation aircraft, such as the J-7 and J-8, with the J-16 and J-20 to counter the United States. J-20 versus F-35. China's military policy has become increasingly aggressive in the past 6 months, particularly concerning violations of Taiwanese airspace. The mass production of the J-20 stealth fighter jet has prompted many specialists to speculate about how the aircraft could compete against the F-35. While both are stealth fighters, they possess different capabilities and serve distinct roles. Lockheed Martin's F-35 Lightning II is a single-engine, single-seat, all-weather stealth aircraft designed for strike and air superiority missions. It boasts enhanced capabilities for electronic warfare, intelligence gathering, reconnaissance, and surveillance. There are 3 variants of the aircraft: the F-35A, a conventional takeoff and landing aircraft, the F-35B, a short takeoff and vertical landing aircraft, and the F-35C, a carrier-based aircraft. In contrast, the Chengdu J-20 Mighty Dragon is also a multi-role stealth fighter aircraft designed for long-range engagements for its air superiority role and ground missions. Like the F-35, it can operate under all-weather environments and can reach higher altitudes at supersonic speeds due to its delta wings. Apart from this information, not much else is known about the J-20. However, the situation changed when the US and China confirmed that the 2 opposing aircraft had their first ever encounter over the South China Sea in early 2023. First contact. In March of 2022, General Kenneth Wilsbach confirmed that F-35 stealth fighters had made contact with Chinese J-20 jets for the first time. This acknowledgement came just a month after an F-35 crashed in the South China Sea, raising concerns about the potential theft of this advanced technology by China. Although the general did not reveal when or where the encounter occurred, he discussed how the Chinese stealth fighter operates. In a press release from the Mitchell Institute for Aerospace Studies, General Wilsbach stated, quote, "It's a bit early to say what they intend to do with the J-20, so really all we've seen it do is air superiority. But we noticed that they're flying it pretty well. We recently had, I wouldn't call it an engagement, but where we got relatively close to the J-20s along with our F-35s in the East China Sea, and were relatively impressed with the command and control associated with the J-20. General Wilsbach also acknowledged the professionalism of the J-20 pilots, but admitted that the USAF does not have much information about the Chinese aircraft to form an opinion about its roles or performance. He explained that they had indeed observed fairly skilled flying, but that it remained premature to determine the exact purpose of the J-20, or whether it will resemble the F-35 or be more akin to the F-22, which primarily serves as an air superiority fighter with air-to-ground capabilities. Furthermore, the general emphasized the critical role the KJ-500 plays in the J-20's air supremacy capabilities, pointing out that, quote, The KJ-500 plays a significant role in some of their capability for long-range fires. Some of their very long-range air-to-air missiles are aided by that KJ-500. Being able to interrupt that kill chain is something that interests me greatly. Propaganda clash. Though the Chinese acknowledged the encounter in August of 2022, it took over a year for the Chinese Air Force to release footage relating to the first contact between the J-20 and the F-35. Or at least, that's what some Western analysts believe. In January of 2023, a government-affiliated news broadcaster released a video featuring a J-20 squadron, focusing on the patrols conducted by Chinese pilots over the East China Sea. During one of the brief segments interspersed between interviews with J-20 pilots, Chinese aircraft are seen flying above the skies. While no foreign aircraft are visible in the video, analysts believe the footage is authentic and may be closely related to the first encounter with an American F-35. The reason for the absence of specific footage of the encounter from the United States or China remains unclear. Nonetheless, the South China Morning Post titled its story about the video with a suggestive heading that hinted the footage was related to the rare encounter with the F-35. In any case, it's almost certain that encounters between J-20s and F-35s will become more frequent in the future. As China rapidly increases production of its most powerful jet to date, and the US, Japan, and South Korea intensify their patrols to protect friendly airspace, clashes or interceptions are likely to occur sooner rather than later. Thanks for watching my video. If you're a documentary fan, you won't want to miss out on what Dark Footage has in store. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. And while you're at it, be sure to explore our other Dark Documentaries channels for even more captivating stories ripped straight from the pages of history. Stay tuned.